What's going on, everyone? Today we're here with Zeynab. Now, she was going to speak to us today a little bit about her Miss Africa Washington State pageant. She is part of that, and it's a few things we want to ask her that I feel that is very interesting that I saw on her Facebook page. So, Zeynab, thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so Zeynab, let's just start up front. What country are you from?
I'm from Sierra Leone.
Okay, Sierra Leone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how many years did you live there before you came to the United States?
I lived there till I was 21 years old. So I came in the U.S. in 2011.
Okay. Okay, so in Sierra Leone versus the United States. I don't know why I'm getting feedback. Hold on. I was getting feedback all of a sudden. I was hearing myself speak.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it must have went away a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know if it's coming across your computer or something. Maybe, I don't know. But let's. God, I said no, it's coming across.
I can hear you clearly, though.
You hear me clearly?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just kept hearing. Let me turn this down on my end. I'm gonna have to start over because I don't want that in the stream.
Okay. So there is something I didn't specify. So I was born in Sierra Leone, but I was raised in Senegal.
Okay. Well, we'll I'm gonna start over, and then you can express that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's start over. Now we're good to go. What's going on, everyone? Today we're here with Zeynab. Now she is owner of. Well, are you the owner of Miss Africa Washington State pageant?
Yes.
Okay. Let's start over. What's going on, everyone? Today we're here with Zeynab. Now, she is the owner of the Miss Africa Washington State pageant. And, you know, we always support black women in business. I love to see that. I do not want to see us begging for scraps from the white supremacy. If we can, not do that. So, Zeynab, thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, so people is watching, they will hear your accent. Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Sierra Leone, but I was raised in Senegal from the age of 3 till I came in the U.S. in 2011.
Okay, so you came in 2011. Now, in Sierra Leone, let's speak about that place. You was raised there, and how was life in Sierra Leone? Because there's a lot of black Americans that don't know much about African countries, unfortunately. So could you tell us about that when you was growing up?
Yeah, so I was born in Sierra Leone, and when the war started in Sierra Leone, my family migrated, found refuge in Senegal. So in Senegal, that's where I was raised. I was raised by my grandmother. So growing up in Senegal is totally different. Even though I was 3 years old, I guess I didn't know much. But Senegal, they were colonized by the French, and Sierra Leone, they were colonized by the English. So when we got in Senegal, we have to kind of, start learning French and all that, and the local native languages. So I was raised there. And I did my primary school, junior high school. I started university there. So I was there at the university for 2 years before my dad filed for me and brought me here.
Okay, so now you're here and in America. So what is the difference between Sierra Leone and Senegal versus the United States of America?
Wow, such a big difference. Sierra Leone and Senegal, beside being colonized by the different colonies like the English and the French, we pretty much kind of have this, similar culture, similar upbringings, values. But then when you compare the two countries, Sierra Leone and Senegal, to the United States, there is such a big difference. When I got here, oh God. It was very hard for me at the beginning because in Senegal we speak French. So when I got here, my English was like Even though I took like basic English in high school, but when I got here, it was another story. It was so hard. Everybody was speaking so fast. And even though I brought my degrees and diploma, everything from Senegal, when I got here, I couldn't use none of that. Couldn't use any of the paperwork I brought. So I had to forget about them and go study English. And it was very hard for me.
So when you first got here to the United States, how did you interact with Black Americans? What was that like?
So growing up in Senegal, watching TV, watching the movie, I did have a perception about Black American, from Senegal. The only thing you see about Black American, they do drugs, they always carry guns, they shoot at each other, they're like the poorest people in the US. So from Africa, I already have that kind of idea and that conception about Black people. So when I got here, I was hanging out mostly with African people. It took me a while to really see a different picture of what I have known about the Black American people. So it was at school when I was doing my English classes, I decided to join the African Union. In the African Union, I was able to meet, actually in the African Union, we had some African American who are part of it. So I was able to be, I got to know them and I was friends with them. So I came to understand that, the ones I had as friends, they were very nice. They were very nice, very interested, to know more about where I came from and all that kind of stuff. And they were hardworking students too. And then from 2011 to now, I've made so many African American friends. Some of them are like sisters. So I guess the conception I had of African American has changed with time. Yeah.
Well, I got a question about that. Do people have the internet in Senegal and Sierra Leone?
I don't know about Sierra Leone because I left. My parents, we left there when I was 3. But Senegal, yes, we did. We did. Growing up there, we had internet. Yeah.
Okay, so do you know they do the same thing in America about African nations? When we see things with African nations, they always show the poorest Africans. They show the Boko Harams or the Al Shabaab, terrorist ones. It's always something negative and bad about Africa. So they do the same thing. But the issue that I kind of have with that is, okay, Senegal is even though they colonized by the French, but it's still predominantly African people. So no one in African nations questions, say, okay, all these people in America, 40+ million people in America, all of them can't be shooting each other. All of them can't deal drugs. I mean, why isn't that just even like questioned? I'm curious.
I don't know either. I don't know. I really don't know. But maybe, I don't know, at this point I have come to grow and understand a little bit the system in both sides. I feel like this is like a plan or a master plan that I guess the rulers of our nations have put together. I feel like when you're in America, when you're in Africa, you only see the bad side of the African American. The African American. You don't see much of the good thing. And then when you are here in America, they only show the bad side of Africa, the kids on the dumpsters and stuff like that, the bad things, the diseases, it's so bad what they show on TV when you are here in America. And it's the same thing over there also when you're in Africa. So I think it's a game, I don't know, game they're trying to play. I really don't understand, but I'm sure there is a reason why they're showing what they want the African people to see about the Black American and what they want the people in America to see about Africa. So they definitely do have an agenda in that.
It's called propaganda, and is also used to create disunity. They don't want Black Americans to be unified with African people. And due to this propaganda, you have Black American people who don't like other Africans. And then you said you admitted yourself that when you came here, you had a false information on African Americans here, so it kept you away from your brothers and sisters over here. So that's my issue and problem. Both of us are being played by white supremacy on both sides, okay? And we, in the time of the internet, we live in a information age. I just, me personally, I feel it's no excuse for us here in America as Black Americans, and it's no excuse for people in African nations to be thinking of each other negatively when we can go on the internet. We can see the great things that African Americans do, or the great people. We can see great people in African nations. But the biggest problem with African American people, the system that we're educated in, a lot of African Americans don't even know that the continent of Africa has 54 countries, unfortunately. And they don't teach you that. They don't want you to know that. All they want you to know in school is what the white man has done and his conquests and his white supremacy. It's really all they want to teach you. When here in America, they only teach you that you're slaves, and then you got out of slavery, then Martin Luther King, and they don't really teach you a whole lot. You got to learn on your own. So what I'm saying is, no excuse for all of us to not know who we are. So what I try to use in my platform is to speak to people like you and many other people from African nations, so we can all unify and find out about each other. Now, outside of that, let's talk about your pageant, the Miss Africa Washington State pageant. Now, this pageant is only open to women from the continent of Africa, correct? Or is just African Americans? Who's all open to?
So yeah, it's open to you have to be 50% African or 100% African. So you can be mixed biracial. Yeah.
Okay, so you have to be at least 50% African?
Correct.
Okay, so that means African Americans can get in this pageant.
If like the mom is from Africa or the dad is from, one of your parents has to be from Africa.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question.
Correct.
If they was to give you a DNA test and it would show that they're more than 50% African, would they get in?
Yes.
Okay, for instance, like most African Americans here are about anywhere from 70, you can say 70, maybe 75% and up African DNA. Like for me, for instance, I'm 83% African DNA, right? Which the majority of mine comes from Nigeria and a few other countries, right? So I just want to present that because we don't want to exclude our people, right? And you say 50% African, then the majority of African Americans could be in your pageant because we weigh more than 50% African. That's for sure. So I just want to put that out there. Now, on this pageant, when does it happen?
So the pageant happens every year in September. So
okay,
sorry.
September of every year?
Yes.
Okay, and maybe toward the end we can get a website. You have a website for that?
Yes, we do have a website.
Okay, because this is the thing. African American women need things like that just as much as African women, because all Black women worldwide are talked down to. They aren't protected. This system has a Eurocentric beauty standard, and things are starting to change. Thank God that more and more of a Afrocentric beauty is coming out more and more, which is a good thing for our little girls and the women. But we always want to make sure that we all could unify. So we'll get that from you later. Now let's speak about a few things that you stated on your page. You say you're an activist. What are you specializing in your activism?
So I specialize specifically on female genital mutilation. I don't know if you have heard of it before.
Okay, you said human rights?
No, female genital mutilation. Have you heard of
Okay,
that?
genital mutilation. Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Genital mutilation.
Correct.
That really don't happen here in the United States of America, not at all. But why is that still happening in African nations?
So female genital mutilation, when I take the case of Senegal specifically, it's part of the culture. So it's part of the culture, and the families, they encourage that because every young lady has to go through that rite of passage. Sorry, I'm speaking French and English. So anyway, is a rite of passage that every young girl has to go through it. So I took it upon myself to stand against it. because I personally went through female genital mutilation at the age of 12 in Senegal. So it was very hard for me growing up in Senegal. And I try to talk about it, how is, like we must stop it. But then my grandma, I have never been encouraged to really talk about it. It's always taboo and all that kind of stuff. So then when I got in the US, I felt like when I got here, I was bold enough to talk about it, because then I don't have my grandma to tell me, hey, shut up or stuff like that. Don't talk about it. You're going to disgrace the family. So when I got here, I decided, what, I'm a nursing student. I research about the dangers, the dangers of female genital mutilation. They have the physical and the psychological traumas of female genital mutilation. And as a victim myself, up to these days, I still experience some of the psychological trauma. Maybe not too much about the physical at this point, but definitely the psychological. So I decided to take it upon myself and teach my people about the danger. I'm not like, when I started talking about, so I came in the US in 2011 and I started talking about it in 2012. So I used my Facebook to post about the danger of female genital, and I got so many backlashes. I have friends blocking me, telling me, oh no, it's because you are in the white man country. That's why you're fighting against our values. So I would reply back, I'm like, no, I'm a very proud African. I'm very proud of my values and culture, but there are some tradition that we need to let go, and female genital mutilation is one of them. We need to let it go. I know how much it has hurt me, and I want to make sure those young kids, just young little girls we left in Senegal or somewhere in Africa, don't go through what I'm going through right now. So I'm using the platform I have, like Facebook, Instagram, and really talk about it. And my goal is to someday go back in Senegal. Go back to Senegal. The goal is not to go and blame my elders about what they're doing. They don't understand. They don't know better. They don't know. My goal is to go and educate them. The way I'm going to do that, that's why I'm doing nursing. Once I graduate as a nurse in summer, spring, my goal is going to be to go back and use my credential as a nurse to tell them why it's not okay to do it. There is no health benefit doing female genital mutilation, and I hope it will work, because it needs to be stopped.
Yeah, and that's something that we don't practice here in the United States of America. And I've definitely heard about female genital mutilation, and they say that it is a tradition. Well, why do they feel that that's something they need to keep practicing when you described psychological and physical trauma? Now, do people die from that?
Oh yeah. That comes with the physical trauma, the excessive bleeding. The excessive bleeding. We can die from it, or the infection after you've been mutilated. You may die from it, infection or excessive bleeding. So, because some of these practices are done. So Senegal, it has been abolished. They have a law against female genital mutilation, but it's still being practiced in the villages, like far away in the villages. The government doesn't have the means to go and really, catch the people over there. So they still practice in the deep villages, and they don't have the right first aid to, kids to take care of, the right medication to take care of all that, all the wounds after the mutilation. So many kids end up dying. Yeah,
that's sad. That is so sad. So it's against the law, the government, but out in the rural areas, in the villages, they're still practicing a lot of the old way. Okay, all right. So yeah, that is something to speak up about and speak out, because it's it's something that we can't relate to here, being Black Americans, but that's definitely something you need to speak out about. I mean, that's just wrong. No, I could never do that to my children. I have 3 daughters, and who would even think about something like that? I mean, I don't understand it. But like I said, we all come from different things. Now, you stated also that you are a feminist. Okay, let's talk about that. What is feminism to you?
Well, feminism to me is for women to be able to have the same right and benefit as men. That's my opinion. Some people may take it to another deeper level, but for me, honestly, is the equal right for men and women. That's pretty much my own feminist definition of feminism. Yeah.
Okay, so what rights men have, at least since you've been here in the United States of America, what rights men have that women don't have here in America?
So I've been calling myself a feminist since Senegal, since back home. So when I was back home, I seen so many things going on, the inequality between the woman and the man, that men can own lands and women cannot own lands. Men can inherit things from their parents and women cannot. And there's so many other things, even like women cannot be hired in some offices and men can, even though the woman has the education for the job, but they will not hire her, they would rather hire men. So the reason why I call myself feminist is to be able to give women the same right as men too.
Okay. Now, underneath that system, I would understand why you feel that way. Because to me, I don't agree with any of that. I think women should be able to own land, get inheritance, have jobs, run businesses, be in the government. I mean, just as well as a man. I do believe that. But in the United States of America, do you think feminism is needed? Because in America, women can own land, they can get an inheritance, they can have jobs, they can run for public office, they've done a lot. So do you think feminism is needed in the United States of America?
No. If women can do the same job as the men, women can own any house or land, a man can do the same. So I honestly don't see any reason for feminism.
Yeah, because see, in America, the women who say that they're feminists, the one thing they talk about is unequal pay, right?
Yes.
And let's speak on the numbers.
Okay.
Black women make 65 cents to every white man's dollar, right? Okay. White women make 81 cents to every white man's dollar. And it seems like the white woman, now at one point in time, yes, white women didn't have rights, but see, there was maybe a little bit above blacks way back in the time of slavery, right? But they're still above blacks to this day. So white women at one point in time, they couldn't own land, they couldn't vote, they couldn't be in public office. They could do just like like you say, Senegal would be, right? But then they had the women's suffrage movement, and all that, and women got the right to vote, and women made a lot of strides here in the United States of America. So it's not like that anymore. But the women here in America want to, I'm gonna say the white female, she wants to have the same amount of power. That's the problem with feminism with white people, is that the woman wants the same degree of power as the white man, and the white man is not letting her have that. But when it comes to black people in America, feminism has never benefited us here because black people don't own, a lot of land. We definitely don't have enough money to even have inheritances a lot of times. We're shut out of jobs that the white women get over black women. Like black women who have their hair like you, they'll get discriminated against and told that they need to put in weave or hair extensions, whatever you want to call it. So since feminism really don't benefit, I guess, black women here, but the white women really benefit more than anybody, do you think black women in America should be a part of that?
Should black women be part of the feminist movement
in America?
Yeah, they can be if the goal is to claim for the same wage as white men or black men. then I think, yes, why not?
Right. But at the end of the day, they see the what's disingenuous about American feminism. They say men. They use the word men, and no other race of man is in control of anything in America except the white man. So the white woman won't say, well, the white man is the one and not giving us equal pay. They will say just men and attack men. Now, do you think that's wrong?
For the white man to just attack men overall, not specifically the white man.
Right.
I think they should be attacking the white men, not just generalize all men.
I mean, because it makes more sense. It's more common sense.
Yeah.
So from what I'm learning from you, you have where you come from. You being a feminist, I understand it. Where you come from, women aren't treated right. Right? I get it. Trust me, I understand you. But what I learned from you today is that they should not have any feminism except the issue of equal pay, and then they need to stop saying men and say the white men, because they're the one in control.
That's right.
Because if you do the research, black men aren't in control of nothing. And I created a stream a while back called Black People Can't Be Racist, at least here in America. And I broke down 9 areas where black people don't control, but yet they control it. So now let's speak about the last thing I wanted to say here. You say you're a Pan-Africanist, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what is Pan-Africanism to you?
To me, being a Pan-Africanist is really owning your Africanity over anything else. To me, I am a Christian, but hey, first of all, I'm an African, okay? So my Africanity comes before my religion. And Africanism, that's my own opinion. Being an Africanist, a Pan-Africanist, is really putting your Africanity above anything else, above religion or social group or anything else.
Okay, you say that you are a Christian, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, why are you a Christian?
I guess I'm a Christian based on that comes from my family.
Oh, so it's based on family tradition and not learning the scriptures and learning why you should be a Christian?
First of all, it's something that comes from my family, and then as I grow, I've come to understand the reason why I should continue to be a Christian. So
okay, so let me ask you about Jesus.
Okay.
Do you have a picture of Jesus in your house?
No.
Okay. Do people have any kind of pictures of Jesus in your family?
My mom does, yeah.
Okay. And what does Jesus look like? Does he look like you?
No, not the Jesus I've seen all of my life. The Jesus.
What?
I know. I've never seen a Jesus that looks like me.
Okay. So see, this is the problem. This is why we run into a problem here. Not just you, but we talking about Black Americans as well with so-called Christianity. Listen, I believe in the scriptures. Let me give you why I'm at. I believe in the scriptures. I have my degree in theology. Okay, so let me preface that so you won't think that I have a hatred for the scriptures or God or Christian people. No, I have no hatred for nobody. Well, have you read the scriptures that talked about how Jesus looked like?
No.
Okay. So your family gave you Christianity, okay, which is the Christianity they gave you is the white man's version of Christianity. You know that, right?
Yep.
Okay. He created white Jesus. Do you know why he created white Jesus?
I can only say that would be easier for him to claim to be superior to any other race, I guess.
Boy, you are a very, very smart sister. Okay. Since he created a false idol that did not even correlate through scriptures, when the scriptures taught that Jesus had woolly hair, Jesus was in a region that was blazing hot, okay? Now, do you know any Caucasian that could be in the blazing hot sun and not burn up?
No.
Look, Jesus even went to Egypt, okay? At one point in time. Why did Jesus didn't burn up then at that time period if he was Caucasian?
Must have a little bit of melanin in him.
Oh, okay. So then the scripture describes Jesus as having skin like bronze. If you look at yourself right now, are you more the color of bronze?
Yeah.
Okay. So you admitted that white Jesus was created to show superiority through them so they can colonize Senegal, so they can colonize Sierra Leone, right? They use white Jesus to justify their murder, their rapes of African women, children, and everything, to pillage, because they felt they were superior, and then Africans were forsaken and they was a cursed people or whatever else, and they rolled it on white Jesus. So you really see how a lot of Africans were colonized based off of just what you're admitting to? So let me ask you a question. You understand that the colonization happened because of white Jesus. You just admitted that they used white Jesus to be superior over others. Why do you believe in white Jesus then?
Is the point maybe I didn't clarify that earlier. It's not about believing in Jesus himself, but believing in something higher than, in a higher power.
I'm with you.
I personally believe that, I don't know, all this, we just didn't, things didn't happen like this. There must be a higher power that makes everything the way it is.
Right.
So that may be for Jesus for some people. That may be something else for some people. But what I strongly believe in that there is a higher power out there.
Oh yeah, I'm with you.
Yes.
I'm with you 100%.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, no, Jesus existed. No, we're not gonna say he didn't exist. But I'm saying is, Jesus was a great and beautiful black brother. He was, and he needs to be recognized as such. That's why I always have to ask those questions. And what I tell people is that when they ask me questions about my beliefs, I say I'm a servant of God. I'm not a Christian. And because Jesus said to be a servant, that's what he said. He didn't say to be a Christian. So Christianity, of course, if you read the Bible and, take your time with it, the word Christian didn't come into the book of Acts. And that's a word that came from man. It didn't come from, Christ himself. So that's very, very interesting. So when you talk about Pan-Africanism, okay, do you feel the unification of all African tribes, people in different African countries? Do you believe that we all need to globally unify?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We have to unify in order to make something happen for ourselves. Africa. This brings me to the African Americans who don't take pride in their Africanity. It's sad. It is very sad. I still do have some African Americans. They always look at us Africans. They look at us down, and what they don't understand, that's not helpful. We should come together. That's the only way we can stand against any other power out there. We need to unite.
Yes, and that's my mission and goal, is to through media and news information to try to globally unite the African diaspora. We need each other. Okay. We don't have any friends out there. Everybody is trying to come into Africa is coming into to rape, pillage, and steal resources, etc.
They don't care. They're coming there to do business. They don't care about us. So it's high time. There is the sad thing is, it's very sad, very sad. For example, like the Europeans, like we black people, we don't have like a nation, or a nation that stand or defend our interests in this world. We don't have that. I think the Jews do have it. The Europeans do have it. Even the Chinese do have it. the Koreans, all these people, they are well organized. They do have entities in their countries or wherever that defend their interests wherever they are in the world. But we Africans, we don't have it. And it's high time that our leaders in Africa get that notion. I don't know what the African Union is doing, but they should really build such a strong unity in a way that if an African person is being treated badly in the US, or if a Black African American is being killed on the street, we should have an African committee or African Union, something that defends its people. But we don't have that.
Well, it can get started if the African Union is willing to have people come to the U.S. One of the best ways for us to join together is that if Africans who have a lot of money, which some of them do, okay, come here and get with the Black Americans here and say, listen, we want to build businesses. We're going to, help provide jobs. And that's one great way to join us together, because the Black community in America needs that. If they would see Africans coming over, creating businesses, hiring, Black Americans to do these jobs, creating schools here, even helping us to go back to African nations to see how it really is. So we all don't have this thought process, they show us on TV, feed the children, or you think all Black people in America is loving hip hop, right? That's, one way that can be done, because we all, like I said, we are all we have in the world, and we are globally the youngest population in the world right now. So it's high time for us to do that and get together. And then you're talking about the white man and the French man, which is the white man, but you also need to watch that Chinese too, as in African nations. Did you hear what happened at the new African Union building that the Chinese built for the African Union? Did you hear what happened over there?
No.
Well, what happened? The Chinese built this brand new facility for the African Union. Well, what the Chinese was doing, what they found out, is the Chinese was spying and listening. They had cameras all over the place, listening devices, and on the computers, they were sending all the information back to Shanghai to a server so they can keep up with everything that they're doing over there. So the Chinese, a brother from Senegal, I think he was Senegal. I think it was Senegal or one of those countries, sent me a picture of a billboard, and Chinese are putting advertisement billboards in Mandarin in African nations, and the people over there don't speak Mandarin, but yet they're trying to take over. Now, why is African leaders allowing China to come in there and just start taking over stuff?
They just corrupt. They corrupt, and they're not there for the interests of the people. They're there for their own pockets. They're not there for the interest. Many of the African leaders, they're not there for their pocket, for the people. And the ones that are there for the people don't last. The white man has such a power that any African president who stands up for its people, it will go down like real quick.
So you say that so any African that stands up, you say the white man kills him?
Oh yeah, like.
So let me ask you a question.
If the white man doesn't kill him directly, they have the power and the means to make sure that person goes down, and it's gonna look like his own people put him down. But actually, we all know the people behind things.
Okay, so since you know that history of, if you have a guy stand up, and then look at what they did Muammar Gaddafi when he tried to unite Africa into one. They killed him.
Oh yeah.
So since we know this, then why isn't the people on the continent of Africa say, look, we need to protect this man because we know that the white man is going to try to kill him, but really protect him?
Because many people in Africa don't get it. They don't get it. We need people like you, people who understand how the system works to educate our people. Many of them are no work. They still don't get it. So the few of us who get it, is our duty to find a way to educate them. to find a way to put in power somebody who's awakened and who understand how things are running now. Otherwise, we are just gonna perish.
Yeah, see, we can't do that. We can't perish. That's not going to work. At least that don't work for me.
That's not an option.
Yeah, that's not an option. And I feel that you have a lot of great people here. You know, I would love to go over there and educate or have a seminar, whatever you want to talk to educate the people about how this system really works. We have great leaders here in America that if they are invited to go over there and teach the people, that's what I think needs to happen. You need to take a lot of great people here and invite them over there and to teach the people. Okay. I'm not saying they're going to be politicians over there, but at least educate the people about the system they're living in. And once the people get it, like once they realize that, wait a minute, the Chinese is trying to do no different than what the white man was doing to us. The Chinese is trying to do it a different way than what the white man is. Okay. What needs to happen is a revolution in Africa, in African nations. Okay. The people need to say, you know, like Donald Trump, Africa first.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And need to say, France, get the hell out.
Oh yeah.
You are colonizing 13 countries, get the hell out. And because there's a lot of countries paying colonial taxes to France. France is a freaking leech off of African people. So that's one of the first things need to happen, in my opinion. They need to get out. The second thing definitely need to happen is African nations need to unify to go stop the slavery in Libya. You don't need white folks to come do nothing for you. There's enough Africans over there to go stop those Arabs. And drive they behind to Saudi Arabia or whatever. They need to get out too if they don't like African people. Because a lot of them are in African nations and they don't like African people.
That's right. It's very sad. It's very sad. It's gonna be a long way before we get there, but we shouldn't, we shouldn't give up.
So, sister, it's not big as what you think it is. All it has to be, it's like here in America. If the majority of black Americans would get in one accord and say, you know what, that's it. That's enough. We're not tolerating it no more. Our situation here would change overnight, and Africa will change overnight too.
Yeah.
But we all got to wake up and say, no more.
Yeah.
No more. We're not going to be oppressed.
Some of us are busy kissing the white man ass every day. So.
Right. And do you know who one brother I really support over there? Well, he's in South Africa. You know who Julius Malema is?
No.
He's the head of the EFF.
No.
Well, look him up. Now, that brother, he fights for his people.
In South Africa?
In South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he is serious. Like, you remember the H&M ad that had the coolest monkey in the jungle? Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, his group went over there to H&M in Johannesburg in the mall and tore the store up because of that. Yeah, like they said, you're not gonna sell nothing in Johannesburg no more because you disrespecting Africans.
Yeah.
And people may not agree with those methods, but hey, you know, black people have been colonized, brutalized, beaten, raped, stolen from forever. So it's time for us to defend ourselves.
It's high time. It's high time we defend ourselves, support each other, and unify. When you see a black sister doing something, open a business instead of going and shopping to the Chinese store next door. How about you shop to the black sister or the black brother? Why? So those are things like, here I don't buy any hair product or stuff to the Asian store. No, I live like 45 minutes from the nearest African beauty salon, but I drive there. I go all the way to my Gambian sisters, all the way over there. I live in Sammamish. I drive all the way to Linwood to get my products. I can just go to Renton, is like maybe 20 minutes away from me at the Asian store and buy the product. But no, I drive all the way to the sisters and buy there. We need to develop that mentality. Let's support our own.
Right, and even the hair care industry. You're talking about Pan-Africanism.
Yeah.
How can you be a Pan-Africanist and not trying to take the hair care industry away from the Koreans? Those Koreans don't have no respect for black folks. Okay, they beat black women up in the stores. They follow them around. They tell them hurry up and buy, and all these other things that they say in these stores. Okay, not all of them doing it, because let me make sure I'm not saying all, but it do happen. Okay. black women worldwide supposed to own the hair care industry for their hair.
Yeah.
No other race is supposed to own that. None. I mean, it'd be like if it was black people would own all the Asian restaurants and no Asians owned it, all blacks. They would be looking out of order. I mean, that's not even, but we allow as black people worldwide for everybody to take from us.
Yeah.
And it's time for black women in America and in African nations to take back the black hair care industry, because that's billions of dollars that belongs to black women.
Oh yeah. A lot of money.
Yeah, it should be no black women broke with the black hair care industry just sitting right there.
So, all this, I stand for so many things, and it's one of the reasons why I started a pageant, the Miss Africa Washington State pageant. One of the reasons I started it is to give a platform, because when I came here in Washington, when I came in 2011, there was a pageant system going on, but they went down in 2012. So from 2012 to now, to when I started the pageant in 2016, there were no pageant. So African people, we go to work, go to school, come home, go to naming ceremonies, these parties, club. For me, I came in America for a better life, and besides going to school and stuff like that, I really didn't see any platform that brings African community here in Washington State, a place where we can come together, talk about things that matter, not just go to the club or go to that wedding. No, there's things more important as young African women to come together and talk about it. How can we make an impact here and back home? How can we change our living situations? How can we rise and demand respect? How can we show the Western world that Africa is not all that we think? What you think? We have brains, we're beautiful, and we know what we are here for. So I started a pageant to give the young African girls of Seattle a platform where we can come together, talk about social issues, talk about things that matters here in the U.S. and also back home. So
right, and like I said, you definitely need to join with your African American sisters. It definitely, that's for sure. There should be no separation with African women and African American women. Everybody's African at the end of the day. African American women, as I stated earlier, definitely meet the requirements for being in your pageant.
Sure.
They need you, and you need them.
I reach out to them. Last year we was supposed to have one of the girls, Gigi, to represent, but then she, for whatever reason, she didn't make it. But I'll reach out to her this year again. And some of the pageant mentors, I reach out to the African American sisters. I reach out to them. I'm like, I have Sister Makeda, Sister Devon, Deontay. I have so many African American that they are so dear to me, and they have supported me with this pageant. They don't even care it's an African pageant. No, Devon, she's Miss Black Washington. She comes in, she trained the pageant girls how to walk, how to carry yourself like a queen. We have Queen Makeda. She's African American. She comes in, and even though the girls are dancing the African traditional song, she will dance with them to show them how to shake your body. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And
that's awesome.
Always have to be judges too. It's beautiful. We need to unite.
Who was the judges you stated?
Oh yeah, I invited some of the African American. Like Deontay, he was one of the judges at the pageant. Devon was one of the judges. And last year we had another African American, Whitney. So I try to, have the African American sisters involved in the Miss Africa Washington as much as I can. That's my little way of bringing the two communities together.
That's right. And one day, you need some extra judges, holler at me. So what is your what is the website? So I can put it and let people know how to see it.
Sure. Miss Africa, so www.missafricawashingtonstatepageant.org.
Okay, you said it's Miss Africa Washington State Pageant.com?
.org.
Okay, Miss Washington State
Pageant .org.
.org?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll definitely make sure to put that in the pinned comment.
Sure.
So Zeynab, I definitely want to thank you for joining us today. this conversation. I've learned a lot from you. Definitely about, for sure to hear that female genital mutilation still going on. Like I said, I learned so much from speaking to our brothers and sisters from African nations, because I'm always trying to learn. And we definitely should always, unify and speak with each other. So you have a great evening, and I hope everything goes well for you in the pageant this year.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it.
All right.
So that's that. So what do you think about